Don Quixote, Don Flamingo. Is it just me, or is this dude probably one of the best villains after the time skip? His entire motives, how evil he is, the aurora radiating off his character in this episode and this arc, and everything that is centered around him is just pure fucking evil, but he's such a good villain, seriously. Am I the only one that thinks he's possibly one of the best villains of One Piece? Because, I mean, this episode, once again, just shows you how evil he is and how corrupt and how far he will go to get what he wants. Like, what he does to King Riku, it is so fucking sad. I'm just gonna be honest. I mean, I've read the manga to this, and I will tell you right now, with this episode, this was a lot sadder in my eyes and in my opinion than the manga. This was very, 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 very sad because, I mean, when you see Riku just being held up by the throat and you just see him crying and all that, you see the tears come off his eyes and you just hear that fucking laugh of Doflamingo. He's like, I'm like, oh my god. It sounds so fucking scary. I mean, honestly, he's a freaking evil guy, but I can't help but not respect him as a villain, because I love him as a villain. He definitely is that type of villain we have been missing from One Piece. I mean, this villain of this arc, Doflamingo, has been built up since almost the beginning of One Piece, almost like right towards the beginning of One Piece when they entered the Grand Line, and to see how he's been built up and how we're finally getting this arc centered around him, it is really breathtaking. I love how the anime actually, for once, the anime surpassed the manga in terms of emotions and atmosphere. Like, the atmosphere and feels of this episode really just gave me so much feels and sadness. When you just see Riku just slicing through his civilians, like his fellow people, and he's just cutting through man, woman, and child, and he's not stopping, and you just see tears coming from his eyes, and you see him cutting down everybody, killing them. He was actually killing people. You even saw children dead in this episode, and he continues to cut people down. And when you see, like, the soldiers of King Riku marching, and you see them being controlled too, it's really emotional. This episode was really emotional, and that's one thing One Piece always does when it comes to emotional episodes. At the very least, Toei Animation knows how to make emotional episodes of One Piece, and they really make sure they slap you hard with those feels and hit you in the fucking kokoro because of how they handle the episodes. Because of the slow pace they usually go at with one chapter per episode, when they adapt it like that into an episode, you really get the feels out of the series. You really do. And I feel like they did it proper when it came to this episode. Now, I know there's probably going to be some people that probably are going to hate this episode because it was either too slow or not much happened. And personally, the main point of this episode and last episode was to show you the fall of Dressrosa and what really happened that night. And to really see what type of person Doflamingo really is. Like, he set up everything. The main mastermind, like this Aizen shit, mastermind everything, set up King Riku, set up his entire army, turned everybody against each other, and caused the people of his entire kingdom to hate him. And you know, when you're watching this, that he's a very good person. He's a very good person in heart, but everybody else thinks he's trash. And what really got me, and what I really think Toei Animation did a good job with, was that entire scene with Rebecca. When you see her, you know, pop up in this episode, and you see her dodge people and all that, and you hear everybody in the crowd screaming like, you need to die, Rebecca, you're trash, your cursed family needs to die, your cursed blood. I mean, we've been hearing this a lot for the course of this entire arc, and probably people can say it's getting redundant, but it doesn't matter. The way Toei Animation panned over to that entire segment of this episode and showed Rebecca, and then went back, it hits you. Because now you understand the frustration that the civilians have towards King Riku, even though it's not justified. Technically, they don't know the full story. So if we were in their position, okay? Let's say we were the civilians of Dressrosa, and we were in their position. We would probably think the exact same thing. We would probably be very pissed. Probably some of us would have a logical mind and probably not blame Rebecca, but still, majority of us would probably be very pissed off, and we would probably curse and spit at King Riku. That's exactly what we would do. And so now it's understandable, we see both sides, and it's so tragic of what is happening to Rebecca and King Riku and the entire army. And other things that pop up in this is that when people are turned into toys, all memories of the people that are turned into toys are forgotten. For instance, the Soldier Son admits in this episode that he most likely forgot different things about certain people. Even though he's a toy, he probably forgot about other toys, and that may not be his close friends. And that is really upsetting. It's a very upsetting event in this episode. Majority of this episode really had a lot of feels. A lot of feels were in this episode. But not just any feels. One thing that really gets you, too, is that Chinjiao in this episode forgets his grandsons. Like, he even states in this episode, like, okay, I wish I had a grandson to give my Hoppo Navy to. And you know he has grandsons, but his grandsons got turned into toys, and he forgot about his own grandsons. And it's really sad. It's a really sad scene in this episode. And so, the big question is, who can stop Don Flamingo? I mean, that is the big question. I mean, will Don Flamingo be toppled in this arc? Will he, you know, continue to reign supreme? I mean, there's so much. I mean, Don Flamingo, man, great villain. Fucking great villain. I mean, I hate him to the core. But when you can hate a villain and actually understand, I guess, you know, how evil he is, for instance, you know, you could cherish the evil coming off the character, you know it's a great character. Because the way Oda wrote Don Flamingo, he's just so mysterious. He is so fucking mysterious, and he has so much to offer as a character, because we really don't know Don Flamingo's real motives. We still need to know his motives and why he did all this. Besides being greedy and want the kingdom for himself, what is his real motives besides serving up, you know, Smile to Kaido? What is his motive? We still need to know that. So, let me know your thoughts in the comments below of how you felt about this episode of One Piece. Be honest to me. Did you enjoy it? Did you hate it? What was your favorite moments about it? I love all of you so much. You have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.